What's up, Tampa Bay? Hi. Hi, you look gorgeous, every single one of you. Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you all. Yay! I don't even know what you said, but yay! Hey, do me a favor. I like to start my panels like this. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm so glad that you're alive, and I'm so glad that you're here right now. That's right. Because that's love. And we all need to show each other and ourselves a lot more love, right? Right? Okay. Good. I'm glad we got that. Who's been to a Zach panel before? Show of hands. Oh, only a few. Well, obviously, my Nerd HQers over here have been to a panel. So show of hands who's not been to a Zach panel before. That's like pretty much everybody. Fantastic. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. I promise I'm going to try to not drop any expletives. I know that there's some children in the audience, but sometimes I do, and I apologize in advance. All right, well. Fucking Florida! Right out of the gate. By the way, I love Florida. I love Floridians. I really do. I'm not even, this is not a joke. I really, really appreciate a state that cares enough about you guys that protects your liberties and protects your freedoms and allows you to live your lives. Texas is a similar state. That's why I moved there. So give yourselves a round of applause. I appreciate a man like Ron DeSantis. I do. I know he's not a perfect man, and neither is any leader. In fact, a lot of our leaders are very, they have their issues. But it's important that they stand up for us, and it's important that they protect our freedoms and our ability to go live our lives. So that's important. Yes, yeah, sure. You can, absolutely. So listen, as you can see, I don't typically have a moderator. So if you've not been to a panel before, I don't do moderators. I have found after doing many years of doing conventions and stuff like that, moderators are lovely, and they ask great questions, but also a lot of those great questions reside within the hearts and minds of all of the people sitting in this audience. So I would rather, since you've all taken your time to be here with me. By the way, thank you so much for being here. I know that you could be out doing other things right now, but instead you're sitting in this hall with me right now. So what I would like to do we have a microphone for fan Q&A? Oh, yes, right here. So this is what I would like to do. I would like anyone here, if you have a question burning a hole in your pocket or in your mind or in your heart, whatever that question is, I'm happy to answer it. So there's a microphone. If you'd like, you can queue up. Wow, you got a dude in a scooter. Literally, this is so Florida. I'm coming with my question. Oh, do you have a question? You do? Well, you got a camera right in front of you. How do we get what's that? Oh, the line's over there. Do you have a question? If you could just take your scooter over there, sir. Thank you very much. I love the get up and go, though. That's fantastic. And let's go to our first question. I love that there's already a line. I love this. Fantastic. Hi, I met you earlier. What was your name?
You did. My name is Meg.
Meg, good to see you again. Meg, by the way, can you see her? Is she on a screen anywhere? Do we have cameras on the? They can see her? Okay, fantastic. Meg has has a frying pan camera case. I've never seen one of these in my life. It is fantastic. She's holding it right now. It looks like she's holding it self-defensively, but really she's just recording me right now. Meg, what is your question?
Okay, so my question is, so obviously, big fan of Tangled, right?
Duh.
Yeah. So
if you weren't and you had a frying pan and a Pascal on your shoulder, you would be a psycho.
Right? I mean, like, we're not gonna get into that right now.
No.
But my question is that if, obviously there's probably not going to be, but if there was a reboot live action Tangled where maybe like they were like married, they had a kid, like would that be something that you would want to?
Absolutely. I like you a lot. I like people like you who are enthusiastic about life and about me. So by the way, I love that I get to wear flip-flops. I'm in Tampa. I'm wearing flip-flops today. So thank you. I hope everybody appreciates my toes. Anyway, I just felt like I needed to address that. So listen, if they did a You're talking about live action?
Yeah.
Right. So if they did a live action Tangled sequel that's later on down the road, and, Rapunzel and Flynn, or Eugene for the initiated, or Horace for the really initiated, if you watch the series, you know what I'm talking about. If they did that, and they wanted to put me, I think I would totally do that.
I mean, who else would they put?
Well, John Krasinski? I don't know.
No, it has to be. It has to be you. It has to be you, or I don't want to watch it.
I don't know if John can sing as well as I can. So, no, I'm just saying. I don't know. Like these things, they who knows? This is a very hypothetical question, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that would be amazing. I could totally do that. My issue comes, and we might have talked about this at the table earlier, I don't know, but a lot of people have asked me, they say, I feel like I'm addressing only this side. Let me talk to these people over here too. Even though I know you asked the question, but also there's other people over here. Maybe I'll just center punch it a little bit and I can address everybody equally. So a lot of people asked the question because there was talk of, and legit talk of, that there were, potentially going to make a Tangled live action reboot, essentially of the story that is in the animated movie. And they were like, would you play Flynn Rider in that movie? To which I say, that would be criminal, because Rapunzel is 17 when you start the movie. She turns 18 on her birthday. Flynn can probably only be, 24, 25, something like that. So, I think it would be fun if Mandy and I would play like the king and queen or something like that. I think that'd be a kind of a fun thing. But also, I don't know that they need to make that movie. I really love the classic Disney animated movies, and I would, and by the way, and I love Disney movies in general. I just want Hollywood at large to have new ideas, and I don't think we need to constantly retread everything simply because they don't have new ideas. They're like, oh, what do we do? I don't know. People really like that thing. Let's go do that again. And I don't think that that's necessary. So, but I don't know. I'm not really a part of any of that stuff. These are just my personal thoughts. Please, every time I do a panel, I say some things, and then somebody inevitably clips it on the internet and be like, Zach hates Disney. It's like, no! Disnerd from day one, okay? Big time. Big time. In fact, I think I even coined that term. I'm not going to lie. But if they did a thing where we were, later on in life and we were older and whatever, yeah, I don't know. Sure. Why not?
Awesome.
Thank you. Sure. Especially if Alan Menken does the music. That would be awesome. And Glenn Slater. Hello.
Hello again.
Hello again. We meet again.
Yes, we do. In the dark. I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah. No, sure.
Again, my name is Barbara.
Hello, Barbara.
And hello back.
Barbara. Does anybody call you Babs?
One did.
One did. One did in the dark, and they never saw the light again. Yes, Barbara.
I do want to say that I think the versatility of your talent and how deep it runs in you has been very, I had the word.
Underappreciated?
Underrated, yes.
I agree.
So the question to you is good guy, bad guy, superhero, human hero, one with a crayon, which I loved.
Thank you.
And all the hats that you have had to wear on the screen and in real life. Is there a hat that you have not worn yet? Some character you would like to be? Or is there one in your bucket list that you would like to reprise?
Maybe like a sombrero or a fez?
Oh, a sombrero
really.
would be perfect because you could put so much.
Set me up for that. I don't know. I mean, I've not gotten to play bad guys that often. I've gotten to play a couple of bad guys. Psych the movie. I got to play a bad guy in Psych the movie.
Yeah.
A couple of psychos out there. Appreciate you. The Venn diagram of Psych fans and Chuck fans is pretty dynamic. It's like almost the same circle. Like almost the same circle. And I love those guys over at Chuck. They're wonderful people. And I did this really, really off the wall wacky movie called Office Uprising. Did anybody happen to see Office Uprising? Nobody. Fantastic. Did I see one hand in the back? One hand. Two hands? Do I hear three? Three hands. Do I hear four? Do I hear four? Four hands? Four hands. Five hands? All right. By the way, I'm not sure auctioneers are really saying anything when they're doing that. They're just like between numbers. Yeah. So Office Uprising. If you haven't seen it, by the way, it's a fun watch. It's a small indie movie. Basically, the premise is like this weapons manufacturing company that makes bombs and guns and all that kind of stuff. They make this like energy drink for like giving to soldiers in the battlefield to make them all amped up and stuff, but it goes haywire and it starts turning people into like murderous zombies and stuff. So it's kind of fun. And I play the assistant manager of this like office. I think his name was Adam Nussbaum or something like that. And I end up drinking this drink and I play this really crazy, like it was one of the most fun roles I've gotten to play because I just got to go there. I got to really be like a villain bad guy, even more so than the Psych movie, and it was fun because normally, and I also really love these other jobs that I've gotten to play, Chuck and Shazam, because they are so led by their heart. They're good people that want good for other people, which is very much who I am. That's, and I wear my heart on my sleeve and I try to fight for this world and I try to stand up for what is right, even when it doesn't always serve me in my best interest. I don't know that it's not serving my best interest. It's certainly not serving my financial best interest sometimes. But, life's not always about that. Life is about sacrifice. We should not always be making decisions by protecting ourselves or like, oh, I got to make sure I can still get this job or still do that thing. Like, oh, party, all right.
Yeah.
Woo! Hi, welcome to the party. Come on in. So anyway, but yeah, I think more villainy kind of things, darker, more rougher around the edges characters. I think would be fun to play. And I've gotten to, and there's a few more that people will see. I've done a few films now that are coming out soon. One is called Sarah's Oil that's coming out in November. It's a true story about this young black girl in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She was like 10 years old in 1911. This is a true story. She was bequeathed, I'm going to say that word because I love it. She was bequeathed some land from the government because her and her family were once essentially, slaves of this one particular indigenous tribe. Indigenous tribes also had slaves. When the United States outlawed slavery, the tribes all had to outlaw slavery. And when the government gave the tribes back some land, they then divvied that out to all of the tribal members. The freed black people became tribal members. So this young black girl got 160 acres outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. She could read, write. She was very blessed, and then she got to go to this special school. And she had deep faith. She was given this land. She went to this land, and she knew that the oil boom was coming across the United States, and she prayed over her land, and she believed that God told her there's oil in your land. And so she goes and she hires this wildcatter, this independent oil man, who's definitely, a little rough around the edges. He's still got he's a little Han Solo-y, right? Like, he's like rough around the edges and scoundrel, but like at the end of the day, still kind of does the right thing. Anyway, turns out, she had the largest, purest oil reserve, like in all of North America. She became the richest woman in America, this 10-year-old black girl in a very racist version of America in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and like leased her land to Rockefeller and became, this incredibly wealthy woman. Bless you. Anyway, that comes out in November, and would love for you guys to all go see that. And that's a slightly more, gritty character. And then I did this film recently called Hotel Tehran, which is not a true story, but it's a really cool, like, military, like CIA operators that go and do like some cool clandestine stuff. So, I'm getting more into playing those types of roles, but those are the types of hats I want to do anything that challenges me as an actor and challenges audiences' expectations of who I am and what I do. Because unfortunately, Hollywood, again, going back to a big lack of, I think, creativity and vision, what they love to do is they see you play one role, and then they give you offers to play that same role over and over and over and over again. I finished Chuck. Actually, this is a fun thing I like to do. Who's here primarily because you're a Chuck fan?
Woo!
Wonderful, hands down. Who's here primarily because you're a Tangled fan?
Woo!
Hands down. Who's here primarily because you're a Shazam fan?
Woo!
Mrs. Maisel fan?
Woo!
Alvin and the Chipmunks too. Wait, really? The Squeakquel wins? See, you learn something new every day. Who's here because you're a Zachary Levi fan? Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you. Anyway, it's fun. It's kind of like taking a poll. But where was I even going with that? Oh, all right. So I finished Chuck, a show about a guy who, ends up kind of essentially having this special power to help government agencies thwart international crime around the world. If you haven't seen the show, spoiler alert, that's what it's about. There's also a lot of other things that I could spoil for you, but I'm not. It's a great show, thank you. And I'm still working on making a Chuck movie, I promise. It's something I would love to do. I really want to do it, even if it's 15 years down the road. Actually, I think it kind of makes it even more interesting. Like, what is their life 15 years later? Anyway, Casey's still grunting. But so I finished Chuck, and Warner Brothers was making me offers for a new pilot every year, and it was always, the premise was, so it's a regular guy, but he's a magician, see, and he's got this special gift, and so then the police use him to help go fight crime around the world. I'm like, what are we doing? I can do other things than the guy with the thing that helps the cops go solve the crimes. Like, what are we doing? So that's you have to fight that. And it's tough because it's like bird in hand kind of stuff. It's like, that's a job. I could have that job right now, and that could go for a few years, and I can make good money. But if I do that, then I'm just pigeonholing myself, and then people just see, oh yeah, that's the guy that does the thing, and that's all he ever does. So more than anything, I just want to keep doing things that are slightly different enough where I still feel fulfilled in it, and that audiences, that you guys feel fulfilled in what I'm bringing to you. Sound good?
Yeah.
That sound good? Okay, great.
Thank you.
And hopefully with a sombrero.
Yes.
Yes, with a sombrero. I'll work on my Spanish. Yes, who's next? Hello, sir.
Hi, I'm Noah.
Hello, Noah.
My question, so my family and we think Tangled is really underrated, and I want to know what some Disney movies that you think are underrated are.
Atlantis was great. Atlantis was great. Disney movies that are underrated. Would you like to answer the question? I don't know. That's a really good. Here's the thing. Offhand, I can't think of the plethora of Disney IP. There's so much of it. But I feel like, even Tangled, while I do think it's somewhat underappreciated. Like, I was kind of shocked that we didn't get a sequel, given that almost everybody else gets a sequel. But we did get the series, which I was grateful for. And also with the series, we got a lot more. You end up we did 3 seasons, and that was, I don't even know how many episodes, but you end up getting to play that character even more than you would in a full second movie. What was that? What 3? Kingdom Hearts 3. Yes, I did get to play Flynn in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's great. By the way, funny anecdote about, anybody play Kingdom Hearts 3? Yeah? So, funny anecdote, you got a tattoo of it? That's commitment. Okay. That's permanently on your body. All right. To each their own. But a funny anecdote about Kingdom Hearts 3 is that the dialogue in the game is essentially the exact dialogue that's in the movie. But they couldn't use the dialogue that was in the movie. I had to go into a studio and re-record all of those lines, even though they could. I was like, why didn't you I showed up, and I was like, I've already said all this stuff. Why didn't you just take it from the movie? They're like, we can't do, there's like some legal thing or whatever. I was like, whatever, fine, I'll take the paycheck. But I don't know, underappreciated Disney IP, I'm trying to think of, I don't know. I think most of the stuff that I love of Disney is not underappreciated. I mean, I love all of those all of the old classic. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you. Some of you will know these and some of you won't, because some of you are just young and some of you are older like me. But I loved all of the stuff from the vault. Like, I loved Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill and Paul Bunyan and Casey Jones and like all of that stuff. Now, I don't think it's underappreciated in that a lot of us knew that and loved that. And if you grew up in the 80s like I did, when the Disney Channel was first starting and they had there was really no original content, like they didn't have a studio really producing that. So the entire Disney Channel, other than the Mickey Mouse Club, was just all stuff from the vault. And so you got to watch all of the old Mickey and Goofy and Donald cartoons, but you got to watch all of that old cool classic stuff. And I do think that it's underappreciated to the extent that a lot of younger audiences just simply don't know it. And they are so good, particularly the versions that haven't been edited to accommodate culture today. Like, for example, in Pecos Bill, he used to like smoke cigarettes, and then all of a sudden he doesn't smoke cigarettes anymore. I'm like, guys, he was a cowboy, for God's sake. What are we doing? Why can't he do that, right? So I would say that kind of stuff. But I'm trying to think of like a movie. I don't know. All of those movies I think that I loved, I think they have been very greatly appreciated. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Love your work on the Ark, by the way. It's a Noah joke for anybody. Anyway, she's like, please drop the mic. I am not that tall.
Okay, let's see. Don't break. Hi.
Hi.
Oh God, my brain. If you could host a game show for mythical creatures, what would be the first challenge? This is AI generated, by the way, so that's why it's weird.
This is where we get into the heavy hitting stuff. There are many questions I've been asked before, and that is not one of them. If I could host a game show for mythical creatures, what would the first challenge be?
Yeah.
Can you pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time? I bet they couldn't do it.
Nah.
They might be able to like throw magic around, but it takes coordination. So I honestly have no idea. But I'm going to sleep on that in my nightmares. That's a great, thank you. I appreciate the question. Thank you. I love a good original question. I love it. Who's next?
Hello there, Zach. My name's Brian Monroe.
Brian, pleasure.
Pleasure. I have to tell you, man, Tangled surprised me because I had just randomly put that on one day, and the character was just mind blowing. It was like on the screen it was like magnetic, and I was like, who is this actor? I could not place it, and then when I went and saw it, it was you, and I was like, this. I said, wow, that guy, what range he has, It was,
Thanks.
It was incredible. But I'm also a budding voice actor. And I wanted to ask you, what advice would you have to give a voice actor to kind of, either break in, rise, and hopefully get to the level that you have?
Well, I'm going to start with an anecdote, and then I'm going to get to your question. So, who? This is a leading question, because I often get asked when it comes to Flynn Rider that like, did you look? Who thinks I look like Flynn Rider in any way, shape, or form? A little bit, right? A little bit. White guy, facial hair. I have a satchel. I love that. I love when people tell me, or when people think, like, did they model that character after you? Because then I get to tell them, I go, let me tell you something. Flynn Rider, some of you guys know this, they went to like 100 or more Disney employees at the time, and they said, what are the most attractive qualities about a man? And they made a laundry list of these qualities, and they designed the perfect man. And then they hired me.
The resemblance was uncanny.
Not for nothing.
Zach.
Not for nothing. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, when it comes to Voice acting. Actually, this is a really great question because this kind of dovetails into a larger thing that I can't stop talking about. I won't stop talking about. It is imperative that we talk about this. And I try to talk about it at all of my panels. And this also goes for anyone who's looking to get into any job in the arts, but we'll be specific with voice acting right now. And please hear me when I tell you this. I'm not trying to squash your dreams. I'm not trying to be a wet blanket. I'm not trying to be dour or down or anything else. It is going to be extremely difficult. It was already difficult to break into acting, voice acting, anything else. AI sucks. Now, hear me out. When I talk about AI in a vacuum, AI used responsibly, I think can and will do some really cool things in this world. I do believe that, right? But it is inevitable, even when we utilize it to do some really cool things. Like, for an example, I believe in the next update of like Apple EarPods, you'll be able to have live language translation. You will be able to travel anywhere in the world, and you'll be able to talk to anyone in the world without needing a translator. That's incredible. That breaks down so many issues, so many problems. It allows us to move freely around the cabin and be able to meet people where they're at and not having to struggle. And I mean, God, the amount of times I've gone to countries, I know like un poquito español. Un poquito. And yet, every time we go to a Spanish-speaking country, I end up being the translator for my entire group of people because they don't know any español. And a lot of it's like me using my very broken Spanish and like mime. I'm like, nosotros, amigos, run through like caballos. Sí, caballos. And then eventually we're all on horses. And that's how you do it.
Gato es muy enojado.
But, so that'll be great. Right now. So just walk that down. Just logically go downstream from that. That means that very soon, the opportunity that will exist for anyone to, if you wanted to be a translator, that won't be a profession anymore. That won't be something, I mean, certainly things will phase as they phase, but very quickly, everyone will have the technology available where you won't need to have a translator. So that won't be a viable option. Voice acting. Right now, have you all seen what Google VO can do? Have you all seen what... this is something I've been banging this drum and screaming from the rooftops. And 2 years ago, I was like, guys, wake up. It's coming. And people are like, dude, the image has 6 fingers. Like, it's never going to be as good. Yeah. Then it had 6 fingers. Will Smith eating spaghetti looked like a fever dream 2 years ago. Now it looks like Will Smith eating fucking spaghetti. And it's only going to get better. Every 6 months, there's an uptick in iteration. It's called Moore's Law. It's this, right? We go from fire and the wheel, and it's all kind of very horizontal, and then you get to the microchip, and all of a sudden you're like, whoop, and now we're going vertically, and it's happening lightning fast, guys, lightning fast. And this doesn't apply just to the arts and entertainment and any, jobs in the arts and entertainment. This is all of our industries, every single industry. I'm really not trying to be, like I said, I'm not trying to be a wet blanket. I want us to wake up. We need to wake up as a people because you need to prepare yourself. You do. Everybody needs to prepare themselves. I don't know what is on the other side of this. I don't know what's going to happen as we navigate through this, but we, more than ever, are going to have to really hold each other tight. And a flood, a biblical flood, not of water, but of technology, is about to pummel us in every industry. So I wouldn't recommend, I know this might be your dream, and I don't want to shit on that dream. But I don't know, when I have very dear friends who are very successful voice actors right now, who are struggling to find work, I don't know how new people are able to break into an industry when the people that won't hire the star voiceover actor because they're like, well, we don't need you anymore. A friend of mine is a incredible actor, but also does a lot of voice acting, and he does a lot of impersonations, and he gets hired a lot to do dubbing for actors that can't show up and do various things. He used to get a lot of that work, they don't need it at all anymore, because they can just sample whatever the person's line was in the movie, and then they can go, oh yeah, we'll just go, there it is. That's the line. So don't. Have you thought about plumbing?
I actually have, yes.
Okay. By the way, I say that half jokingly, right? Like, we need to, you really do need to be looking at, and by the way, not just you, what are your kids learning in school? Ask yourself, is it worth it? Ask yourself, is your child learning anything that is going to benefit them 5 years from now? Because they need to know how to make a fire and hunt and grow food and have practical skills. Like, I'm serious. I mean, this sounds like doomsday. I'm not trying to do that, but I am. Because we got to wake up. So that's my best advice I could give you. I don't know. But also, if you want to, have fun with it, do it as a hobby. And along the way, if perhaps in all of that, like, hold it very loosely in your hand. Like, keep putting yourself out there. Maybe you can get some work doing it. Maybe you can create your own things. Like, go for it. But just know that you are literally fighting a battle that I don't know can be won ultimately. And I wish I had better news for you. But
Zach, AI can't replace your heart and your spirit, brother.
amen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Eventually it will. Yes, who's next?
So my name's Elise, and my whole family, we really love Tangled. We think it's a really amazing show.
Thank you. You have excellent taste.
We also really like the series. But my question is, in Tangled, what is your favorite line that you spoke, and why is it your favorite line?
I always get caught up on these questions because I don't remember. I have been so blessed that I've gotten to work a lot in my career over these last 25, 26 years. And I've had lots of jobs in that time and lots of dialogue. And I often don't ever go back and revisit or rewatch a lot of the stuff that I've done. I just don't. I'm living life, or I'm watching other things or whatever. So I honestly don't remember. I would say, you know what? I will say, and I don't even remember all the words, but when we come back up from almost drowning, and I'm hurt, when Flynn is hurt, I'm hurt, and Rapunzel heals me, and then I freak out and have that whole run-on sentence. That's my favorite line. And I don't remember it, but I remember the moment. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I should go back and watch and memorize it for moments just like that.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hello, Olivia.
So Tangled the series I really like that one as well.
Thanks.
And I was curious what it was like to work with Mandy Moore and Jeremy Jordan, and I forget who plays Cass, but was there did you guys have a dynamic that's kind of the same as the characters when you were working together?
Eden Espinosa played Cass,
Right.
and she was wonderful, and so was Jeremy, and so was Mandy. So incredibly talented, all of them, and so many of the other people that were involved in that show. Chris Sonnenberg, who was our showrunner, is a dear friend of mine to this day. He was such a great leader, a great man and a great leader. And that is really so much of what it comes down to, as you guys probably know in all of your jobs, whatever you do. If you have really good leadership and that trickles down, so much of what you can then create and do is amplified so much more. When you don't have good leadership, that makes it much more difficult. But they were all wonderful. The reality is, even when we made the movie, when you do voiceover, you don't work together. So and it's fascinating that they're able to do this. It's because you watch Tangled and it doesn't feel like we weren't in the same room recording all of that dialogue. It feels very seamless, right? Mandy and I didn't record one single day of dialogue together. It was all completely separately, and you're in a VO booth. You're working with the director, and for Tangled, the movie, we had 2 directors, and the producers and the writer, and they're all there. And it's just you in the VO booth, and you're doing your lines. And they might play you like a playback if somebody else had already recorded their dialogue that is in that scene to give you a little concept. Oh, more people coming in. Come in. The more the merrier. Yes. I mean, I've only got 5 minutes left, but that's fine. It's better late than never. And the same with the series. The same with the series. We never really. I feel like maybe there was like a couple of moments where I got to record with another actor because it was a special scene or something, and maybe Mandy and I did that one time. I can't really remember. But yeah, so I don't know. You don't. But when we got to promote the film, like we went to Disneyland and we did this stuff together, and it was wonderful. And I already knew Jeremy from the Broadway world before that, and I had met Eden when we were doing the show, and they're wonderful and talented people, and I was really grateful to work with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I like your steampunk vibe. What if the whole world was steampunk? What if everybody was just walking around goggles and top hats?
That would be incredible if that was the case, Zach.
What's happening?
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to do the smolder.
Oh.
Speaking of which, Jeremy's also...
Many people try to do the smolder.
Although I will say, Jeremy's... I will say, though, Jeremy's pretty famous right now since he's also the voice of Lucifer in Has-Been Hotel.
Yeah. I hear that's a very big show.
It is. But, you mostly, I remember you with Chuck as well. You given the work with Yvonne Stravinsky, who played Sarah... Strahovski. I'm not good at names. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
As Sarah, then there was one of Karina. You got to work with a lot of very good people. But I remember there was a time Chuck was almost canceled, and you helped also bring awareness and help Subway bring the awareness to it. Like you had like the campaign to save Chuck.
Yeah. So, we were almost canceled always. Chuck, like we were the little engine that could, man. We were. It's really strange. I mean, network television, once DVR came around, and I had told people this, like once we all got a TiVo and it was bloop, 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 bloop. You remember TiVo before, right? I remember thinking, this is awesome. And also, this is the end of network television. Because network television is literally monetized on commercials. And if everybody can just zip through the commercials, then they're not worth anything anymore. So the network television, even that you see right now, is kind of on life support. It's also why you have 17 more commercial breaks in every television show. Like you feel like you just get back into the show and you're like, all right, we're back to we're back to Home Depot. Okay. So it's super annoying. It's really annoying. But our ratings at the time, we were kind of at the tail end of what was kind of still traditionally understood or accepted or desired network television ratings, and we were getting okay ratings. If we got those ratings today, we'd be a juggernaut. Seriously, because now if you have a network television show on, you're lucky if you're getting like a 1 share, a 2 share, or something like that. We were getting a 5. I don't even know I'm not even sure what the shares are, to be honest. It's weird TV lingo. But the point is, we weren't just a blast off network television bonanza success. And so every single year, first season, second season, third season, and fourth season. Well, actually, no. The fourth season, we actually were told that we were going to come back for a 5th season early because we knew it was going to be our last season. But prior to that, every year we were on the chopping block. And as it turned out, a fan, not me, but a fan, and I can't remember their name, forgive me if you're out there right now, God bless you, you're awesome. There was a whole campaign because Subway was obviously some of the
sponsor.
On the nose, in show, like branding. But I thought actually kind of cleverly done because we didn't even try to hide it. It was so blatantly like, here's a Subway sandwich in Big Mike's hand and he's talking about having a meatball sandwich. Like just lean into it. So fans came up with this campaign, which was, in order to ensure that NBC and Warner Brothers know that we love this show, let's go patronize one of their main advertisers. Super smart. I think way smarter than some other campaigns that have happened, which is like, we're just going to mail in, or we're just going to call in, we're just going to pester the network. Maybe that moves the needle a little bit. I remember when, what was that show? It was Jericho. And there was a fan campaign, and the fan campaign was, let's send CBS a bunch of nuts to tell them that they're nuts for canceling the show. Now, clever, yes. Effective, no. I think Jericho ended up getting like one last little bit of a few episodes, but it wasn't enough to move the needle. However, when you can go and patronize the actual advertiser on the show and be like, hey, keep this show around because we like you and we will eat your sandwiches, which is what they're trying to do with their advertisement, Shocker, that's what ads are for. They want you to go and buy that thing. And so they started this foot-long finale campaign. So I think it was the second season.
It was the second.
Second season. It was the second season, thank you. But second season, it was organized. All the Chucksters, let's all go to Subway, and we'll all order a foot-long. And on the suggestion card or whatever, we're saying we're buying this to support Chuck. Now, how much that ultimately convinced NBC and Warner Brothers to renew the show, I don't know. I know that it was effective enough. And I also know that when it happened, I happened to be at a convention in Birmingham, England, and there happened to be a Subway right around the corner. And so we had, Adam Baldwin was there with me, and I'd already done one panel, and they had another panel, and I was like, you know what? And it was all the same fans, and I was like, we've already talked about all the questions, right? Why don't we just all go to Subway right now? And I straight up led like 200 people. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah. And we all walked to Subway, and then they were so many people. We even called ahead and we said, hey, there's going to be a bunch of fans coming. They're like, yeah, great, mate, yeah, good. Well, it's Birmingham size, whatever, I don't know the exact accent, but the point is, we gave them a heads up, and they were still like, what is going on? And so I ended up getting behind the counter and making sandwiches because they were underhanded. And it went viral, or whatever viral was at that point anyway. And it was fun. But to me, it was a genius way, if you really want to be effective, go do that. Go patronize the people that are helping to keep that show on the air. So yeah, anyway.
Thank you. But before I go off, I want to also say Subway's not as good as Pub Sub. So if you're down here in Florida, I would recommend you get a Public Sub, Zach.
All right. I'll think about it. That's Publix, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You guys love your subs. Hey, is there another panel after this one?
No. Costume contest.
Oh, there's a costume. What time does it start exactly? At 7? It starts at 10 minutes. Can I keep talking for a little bit? Is it okay? Do we have enough time? Yeah. Or I can just leave if you want. Kick. All right, well, listen, I'm gonna, if you guys are okay with it, I'm just gonna keep hanging with you until they kick me off the stage. How's that sound? Fantastic. Because we're here for you guys, damn it. And your wonderful costumes. Oh, that's what everybody was coming in. They weren't coming late for my panel. They're like, TikTok, Levi, we got, I spent $1,000 on this cosplay. I want to win this gold medal. You look fantastic back there. Thanks for your patience. Next question.
What was it like working with Rachel and Marvelous Ms. Maisel?
Oh, it was awesome. Rachel Brosnahan is a wonderful human being and incredibly talented, and I'm so happy for all of her success. And she was perfect in that show. That show is a gem of a show. Amy Sherman Palladino and Dan Palladino, who created it and who wrote most of the episodes and directed most of the episodes and produced it, are geniuses. They are excellent people, and they really care about excellence. This is what's missing in most of the content that's made, honestly. You don't have people that fight. You need people to fight. There are so many executives that they mean well, but they don't know what they're doing and they don't know what they're talking about. And they ruin movies and they ruin shows by giving all of these ridiculous notes and being like, I don't know if they should do this. It's like, why? Well, guess what? If you could write a show, then maybe you should have fucking done it. But you don't know how to write a show, which is why you hired these people to write the show. So why don't you shut up and let them write the show? Why don't you shut up and let them make the thing? And Amy and Dan, very classily, fight and fought for their show. They fought for the excellence of that show, and they hired wonderful department heads in every department to make sure that the costumes, the set design, the sound, the cinematography, the acting, obviously, was all fantastic. So Rachel was wonderful, and that show was wonderful. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Next question.
All right, so I'll just preface this that you look great, but
I know.
With between something like Shazam where you have to be like super fit versus something like Unbreakable Boy, do you ever how does that diet?
Are you saying I wasn't super fit in Unbreakable Boy?
how does the diet and exercise?
How's
change?
that for a backhanded compliment? You look great. No.
But I'm sure it changes, right?
I'm kidding. So what's the question?
How does the diet and exercise change when you're doing like a superhero film versus just a family film?
Well, I mean, this is the irony. I was in the same shape in Unbreakable Boy that I was in Shazam because I put on 20 pounds. I've actually lost 25 pounds since I did Shazam. I've been struggling. Anybody have gut issues in here? I feel like that's kind of like so commonplace now. I've had some wacky gut issues that I got when I was essentially doing the first Shazam. And it's been made my digestion and everything, all the poopies really not great. And working on it. Turns out fiber's a good thing. Anyway, so when I put on that weight, I was working out like 5 days a week, and I had to eat like 4,000 calories a day to put on that mass. But then I held on to that through American Underdog and Unbreakable Boy. We shot those back to back, and then I basically went straight back into Shazam 2 after that. So I was holding on to most of that. I had lost maybe 5 of those pounds. So during Unbreakable Boy, I had the same physique, and I was still working out all the time. So thanks for noticing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next question. One more? Anybody? Yes? No? Huh? Yes? Yes, scurry. We have very angry cosplayers in the back. They're going to come at me with their fake swords and guns.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Hi, Megan.
What was your favorite scene in Spy Kids Agamemnon?
Ooh. Yeah. Anybody watch Spy Kids? Armageddon? Yeah? What was my favorite scene in that movie? I think probably like the sword fighting.
Oh, yeah.
I think the sword fighting was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. I mean, working with Robert Rodriguez was already kind of really dreamy because that guy is just a savant. He is so talented. And by the way, like incredibly talented at writing, directing, scoring, producing, editing. He's an insane guitar player. He's a painter. Like he is a true savant. And he had this incredible vision for us essentially kind of being in this video game world. And so we had like, blocks that were set up to be where we would step in all of that sequence, but you have to use your imagination as to like, what is all that going to be? And so anytime I get to use my imagination when I'm like working with a green screen or something like that, sometimes that can be a pain in the butt, but oftentimes you get to tap into, if you really let yourself, you get to go back and be a kid a little bit. Like when we were kids, we'd imagine anything. I'd have my G.I. Joes in the backyard and they were having a full-blown war, right? Or my Voltron, or my Thundercats, or my He-Man, or whatever else. 80s babies had it all. Including jingles that they don't have anymore. Like what? No commercials have any good jingles anymore. By men in, you know what I'm talking about. They were great. Whatever to the jingle. Nobody cares. So yeah, I would say that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Is this a Hogwarts? Okay, well done. I think Gryffindor, and I approve.
Hi.
Hi.
So my name is Ziva, and my question is, from Spy Kids Armageddon, what was your favorite character besides yourself?
I didn't really like anybody other than me. Gina Rodriguez, who played my wife. I am a massive fan of Gina. We were friends even before we did the movie. We had met through mutual friends or, in Hollywood circles and whatnot. And I just knew her talent from Jane the Virgin, and I just thought she was so talented and delightful. And it was a really cool, dreamy thing that we got to work together finally. And so, yeah, I really liked her character.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We got time for one more?
This will be the last one, guys.
This will be the last one, guys. Don't blow it.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, wow. For a second, I thought that was your real voice.
No.
Okay.
I have a very good question. If you were in an island and you had 30 days to live, what fruit would you choose as your drink? To stay hydrated.
We're ending with the important stuff. That was a very layered question. If I was in an island, not on an island, and also what would be my favorite fruit to drink? And I'm dying in 30 days. I know, also, and you're dying in 30 days, so yeah, fuck it. So I don't care about surviving, or am I trying to survive all 30 days? Yes. Does it matter? Is there a possibility of living beyond these 30 days? Am I trying to just survive for 30 days?
Yes.
Yes,
See?
you are.
Clarity. It helps. Well, I mean, I I don't know that it's a fruit. Is it a fruit? Coconut? Is coconut a fruit?
Coconut, technically.
Isn't it a nut?
I mean,
See, this is why it's an important question. Are coconuts fruits or nuts? Show of hands, is it a fruit? Down. Show of hands, is it a nut? It's a tree nut, isn't it? With juicy, juicy milk inside. I hate that like, how do you milk a cashew or milk an almond? You can milk a coconut because it's already in there. So I would say coconut
okay.
with a little bit of pineapple and a little bit of lime. You take the lime and the coconut, you put them all together. Take the lime and the coconut, you drink it all up as a doctor, and you put it all together as a doctor. Thank you for your question. Thank you. That was wonderful. Tampa Bay, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here.
Zachary Levi, ladies and gentlemen,
Enjoy
give
the
it
rest of
up,
your
Tampa Bay
weekend.
Comic Con 2025.
Enjoy your cosplayers.